It's always fun. I used to love hanging out with my mom when she had to do all kinds of food errands. But the butcher was definitely my favorite. Okay, I'm lightly greasing this with butter, unsalted butter. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my meat mixture here closer to me. And I'm gonna make it into balls. And then I'm gonna flatten it. And I'm gonna put it right in my pan and mush it just a little bit. And I'm gonna go around and finish this all the way around. But I'm gonna save a little bit of the kafta so we can show you a little more dishes. So here we go. It's gonna be almost like a meatloaf, but not quite. The flavors are going to be a little different. And with the potatoes sitting on top of the meat and the tomatoes sitting on top of the potatoes, all the flavors are going to incorporate, and it's going to be so, so good. And all you do is add just a little bit of water to this. Just a little, because the meat's going to create its own juices. Okay, just like that. We're almost done. So you want the meat mixture, once it's hit the pan, to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. And you can kind of tell once you mush it all the way down. You can tell if one is thicker than the other. This is a little too thin. I'm just gonna give it a little more meat. All right, a little bit more on the sides. All right, here we go. Potatoes next. All right, so I'm gonna do this all the way around over the meat. I can use my little guys to put it in between. Okay, here I'll use these guys. I'm gonna put a little. Okay, season it. Salt. And potatoes can take salt. Anytime, if you over salt a dish, put a potato in there and it'll take the salt away. And pepper. Okay. I'm gonna put this here for just a second. Bring down my chopping board and chop up the tomatoes. Again, 1/4 inch thick. Alrighty. Here we have it. Come back over here. Tomatoes on top of the potatoes. Oh, I think I can use a little bit more. Here we go. Again, season. Now, if you don't have tomatoes handy, or you don't like the looks of them at the store, you can dilute about a tablespoon of tomato paste with water and just pour it over the potatoes and the kafta. This is ready to go in the oven. I'm going to clean my hands real quick. Okay, my oven's quite not ready yet, so I'm gonna wait for the beep. But in the meantime, we're gonna work on some kafta patties. Ah, it's ready. Okay, right in the middle is where you want it. And it's gonna cook for about 45 minutes. And you can check it when you puncture the potatoes with a fork or with a knife and it's fork tender, then you know it's ready, because the kafta will cook just like that. I'm going to get, while I'm here, my frying pan. And then I am going to get my kafta. And now it's reduced so I can put it in a smaller bowl. Oh, you know what I forgot to do for the kafta that's in the oven is add a little bit of water to it. And I'm gonna do that right now. About 3 to 4 tablespoons of water. That's all you need. Okay, here we go. Just so I won't burn. And with the juice that's gonna come down from all of the above, the kafta, the potatoes, and the tomatoes, and the water, that's gonna make a nice little gravy. Okay, so here we have it. Our kafta is gonna sit here for a second, and what we're gonna dress the kafta with is sumac, onions, and parsley, and a little tomatoes, and that's gonna roll up in the pita bread. And then we'll move on to our grilled kafta sandwich. So I still have my cutting board. I still have a little bit of my tomato here left. One thing we don't like to do, us Lebanese people, is waste. So if you still have some things here that can be used, go ahead and chop them up. And we're not making tabbouleh, so it doesn't have to be really super fine. Okay, I have another tomato here. And not too much tomato. You just want it just barely for the flavor. And you don't want the juice. You just want the tomato. So you want to try to take most of the juice out just by squeezing it. So this pulp we don't need. Okay, I'm going to move this to the side. My potatoes here. I've already pre-sliced some onions that are sitting in the refrigerator. I'll go grab them for the salad, for the sumac salad. I'm going to give my tomatoes a nice little squeeze and drain them. Okay. Sumac. It's a berry. It's a dried berry that grows on sumac bushes, but do not mistake it for the poisonous kind. And the berries are dried right on the branch and grounded, and they sift it so the seeds are separated. And it varies in color from dark maroon to bright red. What it adds, the flavor that it adds to dishes, it's lemony. It's quite tart. It's really good on fried eggs, grilled fish or meats, and stuffings. When you stuff vegetables, or you stuff, like we did the stuffed kibbeh episode, some people use sumac. It's really nice, but just a little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna grab my onion.